Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
We're so pleased to have on the show new folk artist. He's a singer, songwriter, guitarist, pianist. He does it all. Brian Mackey, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Eric, for having me on.
It's a pleasure. You know, listen to this new album, and I know it just fully released this past November 17th, Good Morning Ireland. It's like, this is a very honest and somewhat dark album, but I mean, it's also very emotional, Brian.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for giving it a listen. It's all the stuff that I accumulated over a course of 2 years in writing, and some pretty bad stuff happening in between that kind of colored it. And I'm letting it out on Good Morning Ireland.
Well, I mean, it's there's so many great songs on here, and I thought it was unfortunate also that you couldn't find any, like a really high-end guitarist or co-writer to work with, and so you ended up going with
I went
Jeff
bottom
King.
barrel with Jeff King.
Our mutual friend.
Yep, Jeff says hello, by the way.
Which I think one of my favorite songs on here, of course, is Six String.
Oh, man.
But you were telling me the story, this was not written on Six String. I mean, so Jeff shorted you on this.
He did. We came down, kind of hung over at his house. I'd stay at Jeff's house, and he was in fancy Cherokee Park or whatever over there.
Oh, yeah.
And we come down in the morning, and there's this old Martin out of tune with missing a string, so he picks it up, starts playing the melody to 6 strings and on 5 strings.
Right.
And it was originally called 5 strings, and then somebody talked me into 6 strings. Maybe I had something to do with it too, but that's how the story behind that.
And then what other songs do you guys work on this also?
My Only Friend, which we wrote during sound check at the Bluebird.
Which is amazing. And you guys, you know, are so incredible at the Bluebird, and I know, you know, and you recently played it, and, you know, the cook comes out, everybody comes out to hear you guys when you and Jeff, because it's so much fun.
Oh, we have fun there. You know Jeff.
Oh, totally. I mean, and what an amazing talent. I mean, you know, pairing you guys together, because obviously Jeff is, you know, playing with Reba and just an incredible artist himself, but then your voice.
Thank you, man.
You know, just throughout the entire album. And I was telling you this when you came, before we came down to the studio, what I enjoyed about this album, Good Morning Ireland, to where I could really hear your influences. You know, and once again, and a lot of the influences are mine also.
Wow.
To where I could hear, you know, like edgings of like Neil Young. And I could hear, you know, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and I could hear some, you know, Tom Petty in there.
Yeah, huge. I love
Cat
Tom
Stevens.
Cat Stevens, love him.
Yeah, and it's like
Good ear, man.
But
Good
it's
ear.
like a mix of all these things, but it's your own.
Thank you.
You know, and I got to brag on you some. You know, you've already had placement in a number of movies.
Yeah, we got a couple.
And TV shows, and even in a video game.
I don't know how it happened, but it just one of these things, man. You don't expect certain things, and then when they come, it's like almost like you still don't believe it until you hear it, you know?
So you're like bigger than Elvis in Germany, right?
Not bigger. Definitely, I don't have the sideburns.
You do well in Germany.
We do pretty good.
Yeah, you're with your international tours.
Yeah, we do pretty good.
You do very well.
Pretty good.
Because I know that you're already planning, you know, your upcoming, you know, tours and everything for the coming year.
Yeah, we have something in the works. The routing's not there yet, but there's...
Well, now, correct me if I'm wrong, too. Wasn't one of your songs used with Unicef in the UK?
Yes, that's right. Honest Love.
Yeah.
That's right. Man, I totally forgot about that.
I mean, but is that incredible?
That's, yeah, it was one of those surprises where, you know, you're a musician, and when you do stuff sometimes, you just get so caught up in the creation of stuff that after you release it, you don't really pay attention to that. You just pay attention to your next thing.
Well, and you know, you and I were talking too, Brian, to where you're already working on your next album.
Yes.
Even though this is released, and it's also going to come out in vinyl.
Yes, red vinyl, which I think is pretty fancy.
You know, I think this is one of those albums too, to where, and I know when I was listening to it, it certainly brought up a lot of, you know, thoughts, feelings, and emotions to me. But also, like you and I were talking, it's cathartic.
Man.
Is that your hope?
It was like an X-Lax for my soul. You know, it really just kind of...
There's the next song. Is that going to be on the next album?
Man, we're going to have to do it together. Like, I just kind of had this spilling out of emotion, and man, they were just kind of coming after, one after the other in succession. So, yeah, it was kind of a release for me in ways.
Well, and I know, you know, going through loss, as we all do, but also, to me on it, I felt like... also victory, you know, to where, you know, it's like, you know, like some of the tongue-in-cheek, which the song that you did, Keep the World Alive, that came out during the pandemic, to where I enjoyed it because it's kind of, you know, Corona versus Corona. You know, it's like going, it was tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
And it's like going, I think we all need that because, I mean, we all go through, you know, valleys, you know, and I think we have, you know, and you got to be okay with that.
You do,
But
man.
then what do you come out with on the other side?
That's a good point. And with Keep the World Alive, I think I was telling you when I spoke to you, you know, that was actually when the pandemic first hit. Like, we're talking days, dude. And I woke up with that melody.
Yeah.
I called Jeff. I said, I'm going to shoot something over that. And I didn't have any studio stuff because we were kind of getting locked down and because we were in New Jersey. And I just made something on GarageBand, sent it over to him. Him and his wife were on that. He was doing guitar. She was doing violin, and we had it done.
How
Jim
amazing.
Kimball engineered it.
Right, and you know, and that's what surprised me also on this new album, Brian, to where, you know, and certainly, you know, you've done so well internationally and just a prolific songwriter and artist in your own right. But, you know, I thought that the whole album was recorded in Nashville.
Yeah, it kind of seems it, right?
Because the sound and the mixes and the quality of everything, and certainly the instrumentation and musicians you have on it.
Yeah.
But this was like an international album also in how you did it.
It was a world tour of recording. Some of it was in Rome, some of it was in, and we're talking overlooking like an olive oil type grove with the olive trees.
Oh my gosh.
I was staring out the window as I was recording Count the Stars.
I love Count the Stars.
Thank you, man. That's, yeah, and I was singing that, and Italy, it was Italy, man, sunny Italy. And then Los Angeles, Knoxville, Tennessee, Nashville, of course, some New Jersey, and little New York in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I got to ask you this question because I know with a lot of our viewers, they're going to wonder as well. You know, you're very prolific, you know, with your songwriting, with your guitar, with your piano. What do you write on?
What do I usually write on?
Yeah.
Man, I write on the cheapest guitar. All right, so
Like a Jeff King 5-string guitar? Is that, you know?
Oh no, not even that good. And it's like one of those Jim Dandy guitars, like
totally.
a Gretsch.
Yeah.
Like very made of basswood. I could write on that, or an old Yamaha. I love old red labels. I
Right.
write on those.
Wow.
Yeah.
But then you're endorsed by Guild.
Yeah, I love Guild. Nothing against,
Yeah.
you know, but Guild's.
But I mean, but that's what you tour with, and that's what you're
Yeah.
you know, you're on the road with and in the studio with.
Yeah, Guild's in my heart.
Yeah, great
Yeah,
instruments.
definitely.
And Clayton guitar picks too.
Yeah, Clayton guitar picks, and man, they're just.
It's not bad when you're that big internationally and you start getting these endorsement deals. But I got to ask you too. You know, I mean, you know, you started singing, you know, at only 7 years old.
Yeah.
And you know, what influence, you know, all these years forward now, did your grandmother playing piano and your mom being a songwriter?
Yeah.
How did that influence? How does that inform you today?
You know what that does? That kind of gives me, you know, having the strong female presence in my life with them being musical, gave me the confidence early on because they would be like, you could do it. You know, I could see you could do that. My mom always used to record everything that I sang. And it probably wasn't good, but it was just, I was her boy, and she had like belief in me, and she would write some songs. And my grandmother would smoke a cigarette and put it down on the piano. She'd be playing, I would take a drag of it when I was like 8 and blow it out, and she would just calmly move it to the other side. She was from Manchester, England.
Right.
So it's like very calm, very English, and just played the piano, and I just watched her form her chords, and she would let me do it, you know.
How incredible is that, though? I mean, because that kind of imagery, I think, always sticks with us.
It does, man. It's,
You know, it's like-
tattooed on my brain.
It
dude.
really, I mean, it's like, you know, with me, like I was telling you, playing music with my dad growing up.
Yeah.
You know, before he passed away, and it's like going, it's those kind of memories.
Man.
And certainly with your grandmother.
Yeah, totally, dude. I remember they were like Virginia Slims or something, you know, and she had lipstick all over
yeah.
them.
Oh,
And
totally.
I had lipstick on me from taking a drag of her cigarette, you know. It was just,
But that's so great, though.
Yeah.
I mean, what great memories with your family.
Loved my grandma.
And your musical origins. You know, how it started. Because, I mean, at 7 years old, all of
Yeah.
a sudden everybody's going, you sounded great singing.
Yeah.
And that gives you the confidence, and we all need that.
well, I was doing the best My Love Does It Good from Paul McCartney. You know, whoa, 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 whoa.
Totally.
You know, I just thought I was Paul.
Yeah.
You know, and then I was banging out the chords on the piano, and my grandmother was like, oh, that's brilliant, you know. So it worked out well.
Wow. So, you know, once again, you know, with your grandmother being British, when you go back and you're touring the UK and touring all, you know, through Europe, do you kind of feel like you're going back home sometimes?
It feels like home, man.
Yeah.
It really does. Like right now, I'm wearing a Wales rugby T-shirt from a tour I did over there. Actually, the reason why it works is the only thing I had clean left, and I hope it looks all right.
It looks great.
Thanks, man. But I wore it in Wales. One of the road managers picked it out for me and brought it back. He's from Liverpool, so I was on tour. You know, I had a Liverpool tour manager and a driver, and it was just fun the whole time, you know. And they brought this back, and I was on stage in Wales, and it was my first time playing there. And as soon as I walked out, I didn't know what the shirt was. They started cheering because it's their rugby team.
Yeah.
You know?
Luckily, it wasn't the wrong one.
No, it was the right one.
It wasn't like a Simpsons moment.
You're right.
Like, it's like, thank you, Springdale.
Right.
It's Springfield. You
Right.
know,
No, dude, it wasn't that. And I was grateful for him that he didn't throw me under the bus.
It's incredible. But I mean, what fun to go over there and hear your music being sung back to you. And certainly with the, you know, the hits you've had over the years. And I wanted to bring up also, before the pandemic and all, you were on massive tour, supporting a lot of other musicians and yourself.
Yeah, some great guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with Taylor Hicks and you
Ron
know,
Pope.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, what great tours.
Yeah, John McLaughlin.
Right. John's amazing.
Yeah, I love John. What a piano player.
Oh yeah.
And like, do you know David Bromberg?
Yes.
I was in the States with David, and just an amazing musician. And David gave me this huge compliment once, and I didn't know how to take it at first, but I was playing to a crowd of like die-hard David Bromberg fans, and he just says, you know how to get inside people, and you know when to walk away. And then I was like, I don't really know what that means. But then when I went off stage, people were like, how come you didn't play longer? I was there to support David.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I figured let them have that, but give them a taste of what I can do. But don't ever try to, like, you know, he's the man.
Right.
Don't ever try to like upstage the guy that you're there.
No, that's like, you know, I mean, like,
it ain't gonna happen.
No, but it's like this show. It's like, you know, and I was joking with this, like going, you know, I'm here, you know, I'm to shine a light on you.
Oh, I appreciate
It's not about
that.
me. It's about you
Well,
and your music and what you're accomplishing.
Well, I really appreciate that, but hey, I'm on with Eric Dahl over here. I mean, it's like I was a little nervous coming in.
Well, but I mean, but after hanging out with Jeff King, it's like, you know, it's kind of a letdown. Then it's like
no,
you've
it's
been
not.
up there.
No, you're
know?
very professional.
Well, I got to ask you this: with the new album out, and it's going to be on vinyl, obviously on CD, all music platforms. You're going to do some music videos with this also?
Yes, man. We're going to be doing some stuff with Hannah Russell. She's going to be a rockette, but she's also a video director. It's very strange.
Multi-talented.
Yeah, and she's she was actually in the My Only Friend video. She played my love interest in there.
Right.
And she does direction, so she's going to be working on the next one. Count the Stars.
My Only Friend is such a good song.
Thanks, man. That was a
Count,
soundtrack.
and Count the Stars. I mean, but it also, you know, and I know you've had so much placement between Disney and, you know, and A&E Network and all these different outlets, but it's like a lot of these songs, I can see them fitting for films and other TV stuff, but also they're just honest. I mean, I think what you do so well, and certainly with your choice of great co-writers also, Brian, is the imagery in the songs.
Thank
you know,
you.
it's like when I'm listening to them, I see the imagery, but also I want the vinyl because I just want to put this on.
You're getting the vinyl.
You know, I want to hear the whole album just sitting there, you know, kind of in a darkened room,
Man.
you know, and just take it in.
With a little bourbon.
Yes.
Lights
you know,
dim.
just a little relaxing, you know, because it's such an emotional roller coaster.
Thank you, man.
And you've got so many different styles in there. I think everybody that listens to this album is going to find at least a few songs they like, even if there's different styles. And you know, we're talking, you know, new folk.
Yeah.
But it's like you've got some Americana, you got some rock ballad in there, but it's all great music.
Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate you saying that because you know music, and I've been a fan of yours for a long time, and I just, you know, it feels weird being here, but I'm just like, when you tell me this, I think it's kind of like a validation for me. Because when you're making something, with you being an artist and a musician yourself, you don't really understand the full impact until you put it out.
And that's what I told you also before we came in studio and we were talking together. I think that a lot of people, you know, and certainly with all the songs you've done already that have been released before the cumulative album, are going to, you know, it's cathartic. I think it's going to help a lot of people. You know, in their dark times and in their better times.
Wow,
with this album. And I think you're going to reach a lot of people on this. And I know we were talking to, you know, playing Germany, it's like going, and everybody's singing back your songs to you and knows the lyrics and it's like a listening room. It's like you're playing the Bluebird, but in a massive.
It's definitely an experience.
Maybe a
man.
bigger room, just slightly.
Yeah, there'll be some bigger rooms, definitely. But you know, it's one of those moments where the first show I played, it was in 2018 in Germany, and it was in Dusseldorf, and I was in a paper called the Dusseldorfer, and I remember seeing my face there, and it's German, and then I go up to the venue, and I didn't realize they were there to see me. It was like all the way around the block, and I thought that it was like some kind of popular venue, but it was the place I was playing, and I was very surprised.
That has to feel like a Harry Potter moment.
It was weird.
To where it's like going, I know this guy on the newspaper. Wait a minute, it's me. These people are lined up for me?
Yeah, I was in the Dusseldorfer.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think you kind of arrived at that point. I think I would frame that. I would actually have that on a card also. You might know me from the Dusseldorfer.
Just like the name. You know what I mean? It sounds.
It's one of those fun words.
Yeah, Dusseldorfer.
It's like San Francisco.
I actually want to change my last name to that.
That's a great, yeah, but yours, I mean, everybody knows you already.
Yeah, it's
as
true.
Brian Mackey.
Well,
I want to make sure, you know, and I'm sure there's going to be some cool merch and everything on the website also.
Yes.
Because your wife's in charge of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Beth. She's a graphic designer, and she's
The website looks amazing.
Yeah, she used to work for Martha Stewart.
Yeah, I thought you were like one of those you know, male models or something.
No.
On there with all the kind of, I'm like going, wow, this looks amazing on here.
No, man, I just
Yeah, you had to back out of that and went with the music.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't have the looks.
Yeah,
so I was just.
I don't know. That website looks great, but I want to make sure for our viewers, you know, with your website, with social media, they got to see you live because I know these songs are going to be so huge, and also with the vinyl.
Yeah, I like the vinyl.
Oh yes.
Get ready for your copy.
Yes.
I'm going to give it to you.
Signed copy.
Brian
and I want to come out and see you, and I want to see you live. I'm going to bring a copy of that newspaper too.
I'm going to get you one. Yeah, it's brianmackeymusic.com and on Instagram at Brian Mackey Music and all the usual places.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's such an amazing album. Each song is like a little movie in itself, but I suggest, you know, download the entire, however you listen to music, the entire album to really, you know, take it all in. Good Morning Ireland. Brian Mackey, you know, it's going to be tough to top, buddy.
Well,
I mean, I don't know how you're going to top this with the next album. I know you can do it.
I want something upbeat.
But there's some upbeat in here.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it's like, it's got so much depth. I mean, you know, when I was listening to the album, to me, and it certainly hit me emotionally, it's like you're trolling in deep water.
Wow.
There's no shallow water there.
Wow, man. Thank you.
Know, and,
I appreciate that.
Congratulations on being able to, you know, bare your soul to your audience and everybody with this.
Thank you, man. Thank you again for having me on.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to love this album as much as I do. Good Morning Ireland. It's out. Catch this guy on tour when he's not, you know, over across the pond touring internationally and being in the Dusseldorf newspaper. Brian Mackey, thank you so much for coming on.
Nice to meet you. Finally meet you.
Yes, I can't wait to have you on for the next album.
Thank you, man. I'll be here.
We'll do it.
Thank you.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of a Bobby Bones Show.